Ready?
Yep.
First, I want to say that Tony Elliott's the classiest person I've ever seen, I think. I'll get emotional. He texted early in the week and said, I want to put Tylee's sticker on all of our helmets, if that's okay. And I thought, that's pretty cool. And then when I get here today and I'm walking on the field, somebody tells me that he had every one of his players write every one of our players. And they handed us the notes right before the game. And that just doesn't happen anymore, sportsmanship. And they've been through a tragic time here, which was awful, and we all lived it, and we all felt it, but none of us had to deal with it. He had to deal with it, and he dealt with the loss of 3 young people, sudden, that was just so tragic. Ours was over time, and we watched Tylee for 2.5 years, and his last 3 weeks were awful. But we had some time to process it, and Tony didn't. And what they did to be able to handle it, keep a program together, show class with their university, and then learn from it and reach out to us like they did. Because he said before the game, most people don't understand what you're going through. I do. Our team does, and our players do. And so hats off to him. And I thought everybody that was involved with their program today reached out to us and welcomed us. And I thought a lot of that was because of what they've been through, because they get it, they understand. Football is really important. This game's really important. People's lives, and especially young people's lives, are more important, and that's what we were all dealing with today. And they told me last week, with grief, when something like this happens, we all go back to negative events in our life, and it all pops back up. So I'm sure for Virginia, they replayed a lot of this in their mind and made it very difficult for them this week too. That being said, thank you, Tony, for the class that you showed. And he did it last year too. I mean, it's just who he is. And I want to make sure that everybody understands how classy that man is. Secondly, very proud of our team. We've played good at times this year. We haven't played consistently. And that's been our problem. And we're up by 20 at halftime at Duke. And here I am walking in thinking, we've been here before. Are we going to be consistent enough the second half to maintain it and move forward? And we did. We did. So they're growing up, and we're healthier now. Kamen Rucker was out there and made a difference today. And we have really missed him. Even when he got back, he wasn't well. He wasn't confident and well. And this is a team, I felt like, that hasn't been very confident. We've made some plays, but we wouldn't put people away, and had our chances against Georgia Tech. And Duke and Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech are all good teams. And we had chances to beat all 3, and we didn't, and that's my responsibility, and I get that. So I told the players that we're going to finish strong. That's why we're built this way, and we haven't finished strong the last couple of years. And today was a great step forward toward that. Omarion, 1,000 yards, happened 9 times in the history of our school. Really cool. The record's 1,700. That'll be tough, but he's done some amazing things, and thought he takes care of the ball. He's very physical, and he gets hard yards because everybody in the stadium knows he's going to get it, and that's such a credit to him. Thought the offensive line played well today. It's the best they've played because they were healthy. I think Jacoby gets better every week, and the offensive staff is learning what he does best. So we're finally getting an offense with the third quarterback that we've played this year that helps us. Disappointed in the kicking game. Didn't kick a lot, but we missed a field goal. It was a 51-yarder, but we had 2 bad kicks on kickoffs, and we had I think a 27-yard, 34-yard punt return against us early in the game that led to the 3 points that they got to start the game. Defensively, we came into the season saying we're going to be more aggressive, we're going to stop the run, we're going to harass the quarterback. All that happened today, and we looked more like we did against Minnesota today. And I don't know why. I don't know where we got it back. But I'm just really, really proud. I said you can talk about stopping the run, but you got to stop it. And number 10 is a fun player. He's their spirit. And if you stop 10, you stop them. And then we look up, and they had 7 yards rushing. So that's and the most sacks that we've had since 2000. So pressure on the quarterback. He got out of the pass rush twice on 3rd and 10, and shows you what he could do. But most of the day, we kept him in and collapsed the pocket, which is what we needed to do against Pitt and against Georgia Tech last week, instead of rushing by the quarterback and then they scrambled. And we did a much better job of that today. So hopefully that's something that we can continue to build on here at the end of the season. Questions?
A common thread between Minnesota and today is you had a healthy Kaman out there. What is the trickle-down effect of him being out there and doing all the stuff he does?
When you start looking at the defense, Kaman and Power are the two strongest leaders. All those kids look for them. And then every time there is a pass rush, Kaman has a chance to get there. He's that good. And we lost both of those elements when we lost him. And even when we got him back the last week and a half, he's kind of careful. He didn't have his spirit today. I could see his face light up because he knew he was back. And that makes so much difference for us.
About Ritzy's return.
I thought it was JJ when I was looking out there. I couldn't figure out how that number 5. He's such a good athlete that when he saw it, I never dreamed that he could score. And then he made a couple miss, and I'm thinking, and then he gets close to the sideline, and I said, it's 100% he'll step out of bounds. He can't possibly stay in bounds and score, and good for him. And again, what a great kid for a senior year. Those two helped themselves with the NFL today as well.
Did you say anything to Jabari after the return? Did you have enough breath left?
Well, I let him catch his breath because it was going to take a while. I walked over and said, JJ! And he laughed. He thought that was funny.
Mack, I know you
can hear what's going on right over here next to us. Like, to be able to have this joy and this type of performance, which you obviously sorely needed, just maybe, what would you say the meaning of this is, this be able to have a post-game like today?
Yeah, it's this team has dealt with more than any team I've ever dealt with in 36 years, with injuries and change and losing a player, watching a player die over time. I've never seen a group of young people and staff handle this much. You worry about mental health with all of them and with everybody. It's just a load. And in this business, I feel like we've got the best program in the country off the field, and we lost 4 games in a row, and you can't do that. And so winning makes that locker room unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen them that happy. And Mitch Mason wasn't feeling well, so this is the first game he's missed in our 6 years. So they FaceTime him, gave him a game ball, and let him say the prayer from home. Again, Mitch is a valuable part of our program because he's the spirit, he's the faith. And then to be told last night, yeah, Mitch and Billy, they're not stupid. They know he's not well. So I was so happy that Jeremy could get him on FaceTime and they could sing to him and with him and let him speak to him.
Mack, I know you guys.
Kobe, in the way he's been playing, it seemed like he was under center a lot more than he has been. Is that a new wrinkle that you put in during the?
It is, Chip. You in my position, you don't want to make excuses, and everything that you say about something that has happened wrong sounds like an excuse. So you're careful with that. He wasn't going to play this year. He played 59 snaps his whole career. Came in July and was out of shape. And we actually told him the week before the Minnesota game, you're not going to play unless something changes, so get in shape and let's get ready for spring practice. And he was good with that. And then to say, okay, we were kidding, get in shape, we got to figure out what your offense is, because we had a Max offense, then we had to do a Connor offense, and now we got to do a Jacoby offense. So that's a load on everybody. And then while your offensive line coach was sick, your 3 interior guys were all hurt or sick or something at one time, so they weren't playing well or couldn't play. And then with a center from a Division III program who'd never played calling fronts, with a new quarterback who wasn't in the system, didn't even have a system. Here we are trying to pick up blitzes, and all that's better now, obviously. But Jacoby's really a good player. He made some plays with his feet today. He's getting better with his arm. He's taking care of the ball. Everything he's doing is better, and you can't play this game without a quarterback. mean, he touches it every play, and it's the most powerful position in college football. So with him getting better, it helps us get better. And then the receivers and the tight ends get better. And then we got to think today, we were without Bryson Nesbitt, who he and Omarion are two number one weapons when you start looking at receiving and running the ball.
Mack, I know you guys obviously were coming off a bye, but during this week in practice, did you notice anything different about their approach, their energy leading into this game?
I really didn't. The thing that's been amazing about these kids, they practice good all the time. And they're happy in practice, they're having fun. Pro scouts that come out, we've lost 3 in a row, and they say, God, you wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't think it. And then when they got in the game, they got worried, I think, and again, maybe it's my fault, that they felt so much pressure to win that they get uptight in the games and they haven't had confidence, and we haven't consistently played well. And today was a new start. We buried Tylee. We're in a position where we've got a stretch here of new, fresh games. We got the offensive line healthy. Randy's doing better. He's healthier. You get Kamen back. So we said, let's start over. We said this would be a team that would be built stronger for the end. Let's start over. A rival game. We haven't played very well in Charlottesville. They're good. They're sitting here with 4 wins. So let's all of it's out there. Let's go see who we really are. And I said, the team that's in this locker room is better than the one that everybody sees. And that's not the way this is supposed to work. We need to show everybody who we are, and I think that's what they did today.
How much did they feed off the positivity? It just seemed like they got more of a steamroll going on as the game went on.
Absolutely. They, like I said, it's the happiest locker room I've ever seen. I thought on the sideline, you want animation and energy on the sideline. They're not going to have it if they're losing. They're not going to have it if somebody's making good plays, because they know, they feel it. These kids aren't stupid. And I talked to them Thursday about your why. Why do you play? Number one, you play because God gave you enough talent to be good enough to do it, or we wouldn't have asked you to come in. So number one, you were separated by talent. Number two, then what? Why do you play? Do you play to have fun? You play because it gave you an education? You play to win? You play for all the above? So I don't want pressure on you, but you got to figure out why you do this, and then you've got to figure out how to finish, and you got to finish games. And we've learned so much from Tylee. Another thing that we learned is that we're not guaranteed our time. We don't have any control over how much time we've got, any of us. I mean, we could die this afternoon. What we are guaranteed is we have a chance to use the time that we have today and try to improve our life and be happy. And the other thing I told them, which I talked to Tony about this before the game, which is really true, if we have our health and our family and friends have their health, then we have no problems. Because if you get a severe health problem, just like Tylee did, all the rest of your problems are gone away. If one of your children gets Tylee's situation, all the rest of your problems are gone. Because that becomes the focus. So why don't we enjoy our health, be grateful for our health, appreciate our health, and then quit worrying about all the stuff that's around us, and have some fun and enjoy life, because we're not guaranteed life. I mean, I could have a heart attack walking back to the locker room. That's just who we are. And the other thing that I told the kids is you need to make sure you tell everybody everything that you want to tell them now, because you don't have any guarantees that you're going to be around or they're going to be around, and you don't want to miss that. I've had some people that are buried that I wish I had told them I loved them and I care about them before they were buried. And I didn't do that because I thought I had time. We don't have time. We don't have any guaranteed time. So that's why the lessons that I've got to teach this team and this staff with all this stuff that's been thrown on them is the most important time in my life to be a strong leader. And it's hard. It's hard. Tony asked me today, how are you holding up? I said, I'm up and down. And he said, yeah, we're humans. We're human beings. But that's my job. And to see those kids, it's a shame that winning's so important. And that's why we have 4 games. But winning is so important because you watch those kids, you look at those faces, you look at how proud they are of themselves as compared to Georgia Tech 2 weeks ago. That's why you got to win. Everybody, you got to have fans coming, you got to have fans happy and all that other stuff. But for them, you learn a lot of lessons. But I did tell them that when you look at your life, and this is one of the things I said in pregame, it's not about time, it's about the moments that you have, and you'll remember this day the rest of your life for lots of reasons. You sit around and listen to the Rick Steinbachers. They talk about the game. He talks about Georgia Tech and the interception with the 10-10 tie in 1990, and they went to the national championship. I said, nobody going to ask you how much you played, but you're going to remember the day, and you're going to remember the game. And if you don't give full effort with confidence, you're going to have regrets. And regrets are one thing you don't want to have in your life, because regrets you can't get back. You can't get back. Regrets are because you didn't do something at that time in your life, and you can't do that.
If I could ask a follow-up to that, what I'm hearing you say is perspective. Sounds like that you say turn a negative into a positive, try to get something positive out of it. And they got perspective that may have removed some of the stress, so when they had an opportunity to play free today, they seized it.
I think so. I absolutely think so. And sometimes what we want to be as a coach, we want to be perceived as the tough guy that is on them all the time, and they got to do this and they got to do that. Sometimes they need to be hugged, man. Sometimes they need to learn that it's okay to have fun, and this is a game. And I said, pressure is a privilege. If we put you in the position and we ask you, Kamen Rucker, to beat their tackle, to sack their quarterback who's really good, we're putting pressure on you to do that. But that's a privilege because we think you can. And you got to take that as a privilege and not take that as pressure. They're asking me to do that. And we told our defensive line today, you had to be dominant. We have to stop the quarterback run. If he runs like the last two, we're going to get beat. And they took it on their own, and they did well early and frustrated him. And I've never been prouder of a group than I am of this offensive line. Defensive line, excuse me.
Mack, with the performance from JJ today, I mean, my goodness, what a first half he had. It felt like that might be something y'all have been waiting on from a guy like him who's capable of playing the way he did today.
Yeah, Adam, when you're inconsistent at quarterback and you're trying to figure out who you are, it's really frustrating for receivers because they've had two pro quarterbacks. So we've had inconsistency at tight end. We've had inconsistency at receiver because we've been inconsistent as an offense. And I thought today we knew more about who we were. I thought the fourth quarter last week, Jacoby really started scrambling and went down to score, and we drop a touchdown. We drop a touchdown pass and he gets hit, or he scores a touchdown to win the Georgia Tech game. So I thought that was his breakthrough. We didn't notice it because we didn't win and all the Tali stuff, but I thought that was his breakthrough. And I saw the same thing today. He was poised. He got the ball out of his hands. He didn't have many bad throws. He scrambled when he needed to. I thought he is becoming the quarterback that gives us a chance each week for the last 4 games.
Any dance steps by the head coach?
No.
You can do one on the way out, though.
Yeah, I felt like it. But, I think, again, Chip, it's time to celebrate and it's time to have fun. But also there's some teachable moments back there that dancing wouldn't teach. Very honestly, it's with Mitch, with Tali, with Virginia's class, with Virginia handling what they handled, which is I can't imagine. Bubba and I getting a call, 3 kids have been shot. I can't imagine that. So sometimes when we're not dealing with it and we say, I know how you feel, we don't. But I think that this team is learning a lot of lessons, and now they got to go home, be safe tonight, take care of themselves, go back to work tomorrow, and get ready to go to Tallahassee. Do we know what time the game is? They still haven't told us. So
We'll find out tomorrow, right?
Oh, is it
Probably
tomorrow?
tonight.
Probably late tonight.
Yeah. But that's what we got to do, and beating Virginia doesn't do you any good unless you go grow and get stronger and build on it and beat Florida State. I mean, you gotta take this one and build on it instead of just have a game where you played well. You don't want to be a team that plays well. You want to be a team that's getting better.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you.